Everyone, so now Wave with another video review. This will be the only one to actually go up before I go away on holiday. The rest will be scheduled to come up while I'm away. I will be taking video of stuff I'm doing while I'm away, but I don't know whether I'll actually upload that while I am gone or if I'll wait and do it when I get home. I think it depends a lot on internet availability. Now, I've got data on my phone and my iPad, but I don't want to use it unless I have to. So, yeah, this will be the only one to go up prior to my holiday. I actually managed to get my hands on some new stuff. Last week I picked up Bumblebee movie Starscream. I also picked up the 3 new Cyberverse Deluxe figures, so Starscream, Prowl and Soundwave. And then this week I actually picked up Kingdom Inferno, which I'm surprised about because we never actually got Wave 1 of the Kingdom Voyagers. So I was quite surprised to find both Inferno and Dinobot in my local Kmart. I'm not going to get Dinobot because I've got no interest in Beast Wars whatsoever. But I really wanted Inferno, so I picked him up. I did see Studio Series B127, so Cybertronian Bumblebee, and Studio Series Dino. I'll probably go back and get Dino this week, and he might be something that'll have to wait until after I come back. I'll see how I'm going time-wise for filming my reviews. I haven't seen the Wave 2 Deluxes yet, but I might see them when I'm away, hopefully. So time will tell, but fingers crossed I do see them because I'd really like Huffer. But yeah, I was excited to see Inferno. Obviously the only Inferno I've had in my collection was Power of the Prime's Inferno, so I haven't got his Masterpiece version or anything yet. So I was very excited to have him. As you can see, I've also got Grapple. Now, unfortunately, my Grapple I won't be transforming because my version was one of those that had the issue with the pegs, where if you pushed it in too far, it would snap off if you tried to pull it back out again. So that did happen to mine, unfortunately. So he's going to stay in his vehicle mode. I may eventually pick up another one just to have the robot mode as well, because I just like to have both for certain characters. I'm just weird that way. But each to their own. That's how I like my collection to be. So that's how I'm going to do it. I've got 2 of quite a lot of characters. Not every character, but quite a few characters I've got more than one version of. The only one I don't generally get 2 of is Grimlock. I just like his dinosaur mode. I've always liked the T-Rex since I was a kid, so every time I get a Grimlock, it's always just that one. I don't go out and buy a second one of that exact same Grimlock to have a robot mode because I don't want the robot mode. A Studio Series 86 Grimlock, I'm not going to get more than one because I just want the Dino mode, and it'll be the same for the others when they eventually come out in the 86 line. We have got a confirmed 86 Slag coming out. I'm amazed they were actually allowed to use his proper name, given it's not the nicest word out there for in terms of an insult. It is, and that's what it is. It's an insult. Obviously, back in the day, it wasn't as big of a deal, but yeah. Anyway, he looks good. I like the look of him. I'm excited for him. I'm not getting the Mirage Maximal Grimlock 2-pack. I've got no interest in the Dino, the Maximal version of Grimlock, and for me, the Siege Mirage that I have is a good enough version of him. If you want that, the more Earth-based mode of Mirage, by all means, it's available for pre-order now, I think, on Amazon Australia. But for me personally, it's just like, I've got the Siege one. I'm happy with the Siege one. And some people will be, and that's fine. Others will want a slightly more accurate version of him, and that's just fine too. Don't let anyone tell you, don't bother. If that's what you want, then you go ahead and you get that figure, because it is your collection and you will do what you like with it. Don't ever let anyone tell you how to run your collection. But yeah, I'm not going to transform Power the Prime's Inferno. It's too much of a pain in the ass, and honestly, I don't remember how. I've only ever transformed him, I think, once or twice since I got him. So I just want him here for a reference, the same as Grapple. I can't transform him because of the peg issue. But I'm happy with the way Inferno turned out. To be honest, I do have Red Alert, but I'm not dragging him out of the collection tonight. But he's got the hoses there, and the different attachments for his hand, and of course these all sit out in robot mode to form the wing-like protrusions on either side of his head. I don't want to say fins because they're not fins in the same way that Sunny's are. To me, they are more like little wings on either side of his head. But that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel. But I mean, I think they did a good job. They've been doing a great job, really, with each and every one that comes out. I mean, no, they're not perfect, but they're still pretty bloody good. I mean, if you haven't got Power the Prime's Inferno and you want a masterpiece-like version of him, but don't want to fork out the money for the actual masterpiece or any third-party version of him that's out there, then the Kingdom version is definitely a version to look into getting, because it does look pretty bloody good. And I'm excited to have a more accurate G1 Inferno in my collection. I like the Power of the Primes look, blasphemous as some people will find that, but I really liked that Inferno, and he was actually one of my earliest buys. I got Masterpiece Sideswipe first, and then I started looking for him in store. I started collecting at the end of the Prime Wars trilogy toy lines being available in store, so I only picked up a few from that line. So Inferno was one of them, Blitzwing, Power the Prime's Grimlock, and some of the earlier Studio Series stuff as well. I managed to pick up before they disappeared off shelves for good. Octane, that was another one I picked up. So yeah, I came in just at the end of the Prime Wars trilogy being available in store, so I don't really have a lot of them, which is a shame because there are some from that line I would like. I'll eventually get them. I eventually will. Thankfully, he's actually relatively easy to transform. I think it's his right hand that's used to form the hose section. That's yeah, I think it's his right hand that usually gets used for his hand. So yeah, as you can see, the issue with the pegs has been fixed, which is great. It's a little unfortunate that they couldn't fix it earlier before Grapple was released, but it is what it is. And, you know, they fixed it. That's the important thing. And there you have him in his robot mode, and I'm pretty happy with how that looks. He is a heavy retool of Grapple, and there are a lot of characters who share the same mold or a similar type. Obviously, Ironhide and Ratchet come to mind. The Seekers, the Datsuns, Sideswipe, who provided the body for Red Alert and several others. I think Tiger Track and Dig Cover. I think Gigawatt is a retool of him as well. So yeah, I think the mold suits Inferno a little better, but that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel. But I like the contrast between the two of them. G1 Inferno is obviously more accurate. Excuse me. More accurate to how he looked in the show, whereas Power of the Primes Inferno is more like a modern day version of what he'd look like now. Probably it's a more modern take on how he would look if Transformers, he was brought into Transformers verse now, like if he'd been part of the live action series like everyone originally thought he was going to be with the teasers, but it turned out to be Sentinel Prime. So that's the sort of thing he would have looked more like. For me, I like the contrast. It doesn't bother me. I like both versions of him. But I didn't grow up with G1, so I'm not as adherent to it as some other fans are, and that's not a bad thing. We all have our things that we like. Not everyone liked the Unicorn trilogy. A lot of people, in fact, hate it. I like Armada, but I hate Energon and Cybertron. But for me, my generation one was Robots in Disguise 2001, and people either have no clue what it is or hate it because it's a filler, and it didn't appeal to him, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine, so long as they respect that it's important to me. I don't care if they don't like it. But I like Inferno. I like Kingdom Inferno. He's definitely someone you need to pick up if you haven't already. If you want a masterpiece-like version of him but can't afford the actual one, this is a good compromise. Red Alert needs his best friend, even if he is a paranoid, even if he is paranoid and over the top. He and Inferno are still best friends, and they do have a bit of an odd couple thing going on. It's a little bit like Prowl and Jazz, they shouldn't work so well together, but they do. So it's always an interesting contrast when you see something like that. But they're always meant to be a pair, really, I think. So, I know he didn't show up in Armada. He wasn't in... Oh, no, he did. He was just a minicon. He didn't show up in Transformers Animated, but we did get Red Alert, who was actually a female medic. And that was based off Armada Red Alert, who was the medic for the Autobots. But, as I said, he's a good version of Inferno. Like a lot of others, I wish he'd come with a effects part that made it look like he was shooting water from his hose hand, or just something like that. That would have been good, but overall I can't really complain. The Autobot symbol could have maybe been a bit bigger, but I think apart from those two things, I don't really have an issue with him myself. And transforming him back, it's as easy as it was transforming him into robot mode. So it gets a little fiddly, mostly because of the ladder on his back. And these are they tab in here. There's a little slot in there, and there's a tab on the back of the wing here, and that'll just fold back like so. And you just want to accordion this all back, and his head's going to flip like that. So you want to form a box, essentially. And then you're going to come down here to the feet, and you're going to accordion them back until they tuck in like that. So that'll form the undercarriage of his alt mode. And then you're going to bring all of this down, and it'll all tab in together. The easiest thing to do is to try and get this tabbed in, because that'll make it a little easier to get everything else into place. And then you're going to untab his arms. You actually want to tip these up before so you'll go. So you want it to be looking like that. And then you're just going to tip the front of the cab up, and they'll tab in. And then you can just add on his accessories if you want. So one hose will tab in here. The other one tabs in here. And this hose will tab, this hose attachment, there's a tab right here. There's a slot there. And that's just going to go on like that. And then the gun will just tab in there. Of course, this hose attachment will just tab onto the ladder here. When my ladder came, when I got mine, the ladder was stiff, so I had to wiggle it out, and I've not pushed it all the way back in since. I'd recommend doing that if you find yours is a little tight as well, just to wiggle it about until it does come loose, and then not push it all the way back in, just in case you have the same problem again. But that's all from me for the time being. I'll start working on the other videos tomorrow, and I'll see how I go about uploading my holiday videos while I'm gone. Otherwise, I'll just upload them when I come back. So until then, stay safe, stay kind, and remember to smile, because you are beautiful and you are unique, and you should embrace it. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.